Hey everybody, it's Crystal B, and I want to talk to you about the Aries Equinox, which is going to be happening exact on March 20th. And the Aries Equinox is really important because it is not only the change of seasons, it is the beginning of the astrological year. And I know that, most of us always are, we celebrate the beginning of the year on January 1st, but in astrological terms, we actually celebrate the beginning of the year when the sun goes into the sign of Aries, which he will do on March 20th. Aries is the beginning of the zodiac, the very, the source of where everything, begins again. And so I think that all of us have an opportunity at the equinox to kind of reset, reboot, find your passion again, because Aries is a fire sign. It's also like a new little baby. It loves to explore, it loves to be curious. It can be quite risky, not, wanting to run around everywhere, not worried about, if it's going to take a fall. It can be quite fearless. I think a lot of us are going to have a lot of that energy that's going to be surrounding us. But there's some things that are important in thinking about this new season, because a lot is going to be taking place in, the season ahead. And so in the Northern Hemisphere, it's going to be the entrance of spring. And in the Southern Hemisphere, it's going to be the entrance of fall. Now, at the beginning of this, at the equinox, the picture that is building at the equinox, the moon is in a critical degree. Moon will be changing over from Libra into Scorpio, and it's actually going to be squaring Pluto. And Pluto is a huge player this year. He is traveling through the late degrees of Capricorn and, kind of really making sure that we are doing our Capricornian thing. He's been in Capricorn since 2008 and really asking us to really kind of break everything down in order to rebuild it in a different kind of way. And next year in March, he's going to move on and go into Aquarius. Now, he still is going to pop back into Pluto, into Capricorn, but at the same time, this is a critical time. So we see Pluto, who is moving direct, but by the end of April, he actually will retrograde. And, I think another important thing about this equinox picture is that at the time of the equinox, all planets are direct. Another kind of, key indicator that all things, for better or for worse, are moving ahead fast and furiously. Something else that I want to mention is that there is a lot of Pisces energy that's in this picture. And what is really evident is the closer and closer build and ultimate conjunction on April 12th between Jupiter and Neptune. And this is something that this is one of the biggest kind of combinations of 2022. This has a lot to do with, a spiritual revival. It is, kind of wanting all of us to make a great escape, wanting to get our travel on. It also is probably going to expand a lot of Piscean things. I could see oil absolutely skyrocketing. Neptune, Jupiter, this just makes me think of oil. There's also maybe an overabundance of water. You want to make sure that you're, kind of thinking about, taking advantage of the water, but also there's, the water can be dangerous too. And just an absolute immense amount of spiritual energy that is here. Like there's a great deal of compassion that is surrounding all of us and so much of what we're doing. Now, the other thing that's very important about the equinox and ultimately where we're going is Chiron. Chiron is also in Aries, and he is in this picture. He's actually making a really nice combination with both Venus and Mars, who are in the sign of Aquarius, and they're kind of riding really close. It's another kind of enigma of the time frame with Mars, the two lovers of the zodiac, riding so close together. But they're working very nicely with Chiron, the wounded healer. So this really makes me think that there's some sort of healing or some sort of healing social reform that's going on. And, it's important to just remember that Chiron is telling a story for everybody. We're all kind of dealing with wounds of the past and trying to fight our way into healing, going into the healing side, the wounded healer. That's Chiron's, kind of MO. Now, another thing is that at this time, now we finally have Uranus and Saturn who are spreading out from their square. At the last seasonal shift, they were very tight, and this was creating a lot of restriction. But now they're opening up, and they will come back together again. Not exact, but this will not be until later in the year. So this is a really great season to try to make your great escape, to try to find, if you're looking for some wiggle room out, like this is a great opportunity to do that. Now, the last thing I want to mention, and maybe the most important of everything, and definitely an important part of the 2022 story, the nodes are now deeper into the Scorpio Taurus axis. And this is something that I shared with everybody earlier in the year. The nodes are karmic markers. We have the North Node, which is where we're going. This is where we see Taurus is the North Node is traveling through Taurus right now, where we're going. So we're trying to be safer. We're trying to find more security. We're probably, dealing with currency changes, because Taurus has a lot to do with money. Taurus also believes in value and art and, reliable information. It wants the facts. So I think all of these things are becoming more important to us as we are evolving, but it's being pulled by the South Node in Scorpio. And this is about power and about the negative uses of power. And I think that we are seeing this over and over and over again, not only in the world, but in our personal lives, about the abuse of power. And I think that I know that we're trying to break away from the clutches of that shadow of Scorpio. And, the tail will go on, and the nodes will be, over and over again, coming out and front and center to really kind of, weave this important, new developments that are happening between, where we're going to see abuses of power and how we're going to correct that, how we're going to find our safety again, how we're going to kind of, reset the scales into, the abuses of power, and finding new comfort zones, new places of comfort, and new reliable places of going to get information and valuing it, and everything to do with those Taurian themes. So these are some of my thoughts that are coming through when I think about the equinox picture. Again, it's happening exact on March 20th. Definitely good time for you to reboot, reset, lean into that, pioneering, fearless, courageous Aries energy, and use the season ahead to your advantage. There's a lot that's in play. And I know I keep on saying the very last thing, but the very, very, very last thing I do want to mention is that before we get to the next season, Jupiter, the lucky planet, he actually will be entering into the sign of Aries. So we're going to be feeling a lot of this Aries energy, and Jupiter's going to be in Aries for a good 5 months or so. So there is going to be a lot of this pioneering energy that is going to be, surging around us and, looking for our new thing. It starts here, but it will continue on as we go on into 2022. Everybody, good luck with where the season ahead takes you. Be fearless, be courageous, and use all the planetary tools to your advantage. All right, everybody, until next time. Bye-bye.